Hi guys, this is Examination Key Tuition Center, and this is Mr. Perry teaching you physics. To start with, we need to define what the term physics is. Now, when we are talking about physics, we are talking about the branch of science that deals with the measurements of physical quantities and their application in everyday basis. Okay. Now, the first word that we are going to look at, it is the word physical quantity or physical quantities. Okay, under what we call general physics. It is defined as these are quantities that can be measured and defined. These are quantities that can be measured and defined. Now, these physical quantities, they are in classes. We have two classes of physical quantities. Okay, namely, we have what we call a basic quantity or basic quantities. Then second, we have what we call derived quantities. Okay, now we need also to look at the meaning of these two terms. The first term, it is a basic quantity. What is a basic quantity? So a basic quantity, it is defined, or basic quantities are defined as these are quantities that cannot be defined by another quantity. Okay, they define themselves in another way. Okay, now examples of such quantities, we have mass. Okay, we have mass, we have length, then we have temperature as well as current. Okay, so we are done with what we call a basic quantity or basic quantities. Let us look also at the second part, which is derived quantities. What are derived quantities? We are saying derived quantities, these are quantities that can be defined by combining two or more quantities. Let me give you an example here, okay, of a derived quantity. It is speed. Okay, speed is defined by combining two, okay, quantities which are basic in nature. Okay, two basic quantities. What are they? Okay, it is a quantity named distance. Then when a distance is divided by a time, what we have, it is this quantity, which is a derived quantity, speed. Okay, so speed, it is defined by combining two quantities which are distance and time. When we put them together, we have this quantity called speed. The same thing, it is to do with velocity. Okay, you know that the velocity, it is the rate of change of displacement with respect to time. So we are talking about displacement as well as what? Time. When they divide, they give us what we call velocity. Then area, again, it is also a derived quantity. Why? It is because area, it is defined by two things, which is distance or length. But this length, it is multiplying itself twice for us to have what we call what? Area. Apart from this, we have also what we call volume. We know that also volume is defined by combining three things. Okay, it is a product of three things. Okay, the one which is length times, or let me say length is cube, and length, you know, is unit, SI unit, it is meter. So a meter multiplies a meter, then you have the basic quantity called volume. Then apart from this, let us look at also acceleration. Acceleration, it is simply the rate of change of velocity with respect to time. So when velocity is divided by the time, what we have, it is what we call acceleration. So it is also a derived quantity. Then apart from that, we have also moment. Moment, it is simply the product of two things. The product of force and the distance. Okay, force and the distance. It is what defines what we call moment. So moment, it is another example of a derived quantity. Then apart from this, we have also what we call force. Now force, it is defined as the product of mass and acceleration. So we have mass, then we have acceleration. Okay, so when we combine these two things, these two quantities, what we have, it is a force. Okay, so force, it is another derived quantity. Okay, it was the last one there. Then let us also talk about another thing now, which is a basic and a derived unit or derived units. Okay, now when we are talking about a basic unit, okay, the word basic, it is the same word that we have used here for basic quantities. So the only difference which is there, it is the word unit. There we use the word quantity. So when we are talking about basic unit, we are talking about units. These are units for basic what? Quantities. Okay, the units which are used to measure basic quantities, it is what we call basic units. Okay, now basic units, we have examples. Examples of basic units, we have, for example, mass. The basic unit, it is kilogram, okay, with a symbol kg. Then we have length with its basic unit, it is meter with a symbol m. Then we have current, which is amps, then a symbol is A. Then apart from that, we have also temperature. Okay, now temperature, it has a basic unit which is Kelvin. Okay, then it is denoted by a letter K. Then apart from this, we have, let us also talk about a derived unit or derived units. What are derived units? When we are talking about derived units, we are talking about units for derived quantities. Units for derived quantities. So for example here, we have what we call speed. So we understand from what we have done here earlier on, we understand that speed is a derived quantity. Now the units that are used to measure this derived quantity, it is what we call derived unit. For example, we are saying that speed is a derived unit, it is meter per second. Meter per second. In a symbol form, we say meter per second, m per second, per s. Okay, then apart from this, we have also area, since we understand that area, okay, it is an example of a derived quantity. Okay, therefore, its unit, it will be meter square or square meter. Okay, or square meter. Now in the symbol form, we have m with a square up there. Okay, then apart from this, we can also have volume. Volume, it is a derived quantity. Okay, and its unit, it is meter cubic or cubic meter. In the symbol form, we say m cubic. Okay, so please, this is what we call this is to do with physical quantity. Then we have also talked about the classes of these physical quantities. Then we have also basic as derived units. Okay, see me in another video. Okay, when I'll be talking about now. When I'll be talking about